see by the Spirit what is taking place, I believe it would shake them to the core of their soul. Hallelujah. And I tell you what, this health care bill that he has put through, it hasn't been completely established into law yet, but they've got it passed in that first phase that they need to get it passed. And he's trying his best to get it passed it where it's implemented and enforced. But I have heard, and it's possible that it's true, because in that bill, there's a mandate that everyone has to have insurance, just like your car insurance now. Well, there are many poor in this nation that will not be able to afford insurance. But it's going to be a requirement of the law. And also, I have heard that this mandate in it is going to require that every person take the microchip. I haven't studied it out, but this is something that I have heard. And I'm going to try to study it out and see if it truly is in there. But I can see why they would want to mandate that everyone have insurance, because this is the way that they're going to try to slip it in. That people will say, well, I've got to go ahead and take it because of that. And two, they're wanting to get rid of the money system, and they want to get where you buy and sell without money. And all it is fulfilling a prophecy. If the Lord's willing, the next service, I'm going to try to finish up, that the time is at hand. And I'm wanting to be preaching on the mark of the beast. But the Lord really moved up on me, and he spoke to me. He said, my people need to realize what the time and season that they're in and what's truly taking place. And we see all these devastations happen one after the other. You know, just a couple of weeks ago, there was a part in our country and other countries as well that there was flooding everywhere. But I tell you what, we haven't seen yet what's going to take place in this tornado weather that's coming. I tell you what, each weather pattern is going to be more severe than it's ever been because of the sin that is upon our nation. And I tell you what, Tyre felt like, well, you know, I'm wealthy. I've got these walls up around me. I'm wealthy. And yet, tell you what happened, though, in all her wealth, there was many kings like the king of Babylon and other kings of Persia that desired that city because of her wealth. And that's the way it has been for our nation. Many governments in other nations have desired to overcome our nation because of the wealth that was here. But the only reason that this nation has had wealth in it is because we were founded upon God. But that is quickly changing. And I don't care how the media try to deceive us into thinking that things are getting better. It's not. It's not getting better. And I tell you what, this president here is working his fingers to the bone, as I used to hear Mom say. Hallelujah. Some of the most sayings that they used to say. But he's working feverishly, trying to get all these things implemented. And I tell you what, wouldn't be surprised that if he's trying to work it to a place that by the time the next election comes along, that there won't be no election. That he'll be able just to have a coup or have it implemented in the law that his term is not over. I tell you, we need to pray. We truly need to pray. I tell you what, you know, in the Gospels it tells us to pray always. Paul even said, pray always. And he said, and pray that you be counted worthy to escape the snare that's coming upon the whole earth. Not just part of the earth, but the whole earth. And I tell you what, this is in prophecy, what we see coming to pass every day. But you know, people's eyes have been blinded. There is a spiritual blindness upon the world like I have never seen it. And there is a spiritual deafness like I have never seen it. You know, there's only a few here and there by the handfuls that's been able, that their eyes have been open and their ears have been open, that they can hear and they can see what the Spirit is saying to the church. And I believe with all my heart that remnant out of a remnant are making themselves ready, because we are a time that the church has got to prepare itself, hallelujah, and present itself as a virgin bride without spot, without blemish, not even a wrinkle, that we can go on in. Hallelujah. Oh, I tell you what, when our groom bids us to come in to that wedding, hallelujah. But the Lord is speaking to me that concerning the prophecies of this city and how it was destroyed and how that many times it has seen destruction come to it, and yet it rebuilt. But each time the prophecy was fulfilled and come to pass. Like when Andrew the Great, he tried his best to overtake this city right here when he was conquering all these different nations and things as he was going out through. And I tell you what, he was given the power to do that. And it was fulfilling prophecy. And he tried to overcome Tyre, and he couldn't do it. And so what he done, he went on the other side of the port there, and he built a cruiseway that his army could get over there to it. And they just kept battering and battering on this section of the wall, and they went in, and he was so angry. By the time he got in that city, he destroyed half of every person that was in there, killed them, and laid their homes waste because he was so angry. And I tell you what, it was just fulfillment of prophecy. But see, children of God, it is not given to us to fear of these things that are coming about, because the Lord, he will sustain his people. And it's so important that we get our loved ones in while we can. Hallelujah. And I tell you what, I'm feeling that urgency in my spirit to start pushing my plate back more. Hallelujah. And getting a burden, hallelujah, more than what I have. Hallelujah. To stand in the gap and pray until we see these bands, hallelujah, bondage broke off of them. Because I desire to see them come in all our families. In all our families. And by great waters the seed of Tyre, the harvest of the river in her revenue, and she is a mart of nations. Be thou ashamed, O Zion, for the sea has spoken, even the strength of the sea, saying, I travail not, nor bring forth children, neither do I nourish up young men, nor bring up virgins. When I read over that, I said, my Lord, I said, the church is in a place right now that she refuses to travail. She refuses to bring forth children and nourish up the young. Hallelujah. And bring forth a pure bride. But I tell you what, God is going to tarry for a season. And I tell you what, the ones out of that remnant will not go on in. I tell you what, I see God washing his hands of them. Hallelujah. And concentrating on that remnant out of a remnant that's going to wake up and get along with God and get something from him that he can purify our hearts. Because only the pure in heart are going to see him. It ain't how holy our outside is, which I believe in it. Don't get me wrong. I believe that we should be modest on the inside and outside. Hallelujah. But you know, there are certain denominations that put more emphasis on the outside, and they leave the inside undone like the Pharisees, but they're full of dead men's bones. But I tell you what, God in this generation is raising up his people that they know that you got to be pure on the inside and pure on the outside. It takes both. And I tell you what, if you're truly pure on the inside, it's going to bring modesty on the outside. There ain't no way around it. Because it's in the Word. It's in the Word. Jesus Christ, when he manifests himself in us and come forth in us, and we demonstrate the works of Jesus Christ, hallelujah, we're going to walk in the way that Jesus walked. We're not want to fight up against, hallelujah, and pat our flesh, and not want to put things aside that we need to be putting aside. I tell you what, I've been telling different ministers that I want the Lord to tear my flesh up. I want to be saved, church. I want to make it. I don't want to hang on to my little old petty flesh ways. I want the Lord to go ahead and help me to mortify that out and get it killed out, that I can go on in. And I want them that hear me to go on into. Hallelujah. And I tell you what, if we have ministries in our life, it's time that we be yielding unto him and go out and reach the lost while we have a chance.